So this past April, I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. And last year, I was moved into high risk in the sense of my screening. And the reason why I was moved into high risk, my mom had breast cancer when she was 52. She's 83 now and just living and kicking and yelling and screaming. And then unfortunately, my sister was diagnosed at the age of 49, which is about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. And so my sister's doing great. She's still in her recovery process. But when my sister was diagnosed with breast cancer, then I was moved into a high risk category. And so I, of course, was overwhelmed. I remember we had a recruit on campus, and I got the email that said I had breast cancer when we had the recruit on campus. And I was like, Amanda, you're on, I gotta go. My wife and I, we had lots of conversations of what we thought would be best. I did a lot more research because really my question is, what is the reoccurrence, the probability of reoccurrence after 5 years, 10 years? What does that look like? We have 2 young kids, and I think everyone's playing the long game, but that was really the driving force in the sense of they're 7 and 5, I'm playing the long game. What does that look like? And for me, I thought the best course of action, the most aggressive one for me, would be to do a bilateral or a double mastectomy. We were able to do the bilateral mastectomy, and I had that in June. And thankfully, I did the bilateral mastectomy because when they did that, they found an additional tumor on the opposite breast. And so lobular breast cancer patients, it's more common to have breast cancer in both breasts at the same time. And then it's the process of what's next, right? You have the surgery, it's a pretty long surgery. Erica did a great job of being my support. We had family that came in, friends that came in, and I had a good friend network of really supporting me. And then the recovery process of that for me was, okay, I needed more information before I could tell the team, okay, I have breast cancer, what does that mean? Okay, so I needed to know if I was doing a double mastectomy, radiation, chemo. And so once I had everything in place and the surgery date in place for the bilateral mastectomy, that's when I said, okay, I can tell the team. So we did a Zoom because it was later on. School had already gotten out, so we were in the beginning of June. And I had told them during that time. And, I knew that they would be supportive because I've watched all of them support one another, support Sammy, be there, and just be good humans. And that's something that we've talked a lot about with our players in the sense of how to support, show up. Sometimes it's not even talking, it's just showing up, giving a pat in the back, being there, doing the little things. And my team, they're just an awesome, group of young women. Yeah, this week has been heavy. So we've done a lot for the players in the sense of, and that was one of the things, I don't want it to be a pink game, right? I've been at other universities, I've been at other schools where the players just care about getting their pink jersey or whatever it may be. And so it was important for me to do different things and to really empower our young women on understanding the reality is 1 out of 8 women will be affected by breast cancer. All right, and you look in a team of 27, 30 young women, the reality is someone in the room is going to be affected by breast cancer. And I think this process in my journey in the past few months, I have been really fortunate. I've been around teams, I have support networks, I've been in situations where we talk about, communicate, lean into each other, rely on one another. And it hasn't been easy. I've kind of held my story a little bit, but I've been able to rely on my support staff, been able to rely on my friends, my network, my wife. And I think I wanted to be able to express that to the players. So yesterday we had the pink agenda come out and talk about research and being a self-advocate, right? And I think with young women and women in general, and I had this, right? The doctor's like, you're healthy, you're young, you work out. And I'm like, well, I'm still here, right? So I need to be able to advocate for myself. Something's off, that doesn't feel right. What does that look like? And I feel like women sometimes we're like, oh, okay. And I want to make sure that my young women understand what it is. What is cancer? What is breast cancer? What is early detection? And talk about it, right? It's not a stigma. We should be able to talk about, oh, I have dense breast tissue. What does that mean? Well, you're now in high risk, right? So these are those conversations that if we can start early, right, we'll be able to educate my players and educate them that if something were to happen, that they'll be okay to talking about it, right? They can lean in with one another. They can reach out for support. I'll be honest, it hasn't been easy for me, but I think tomorrow, I've always done some sort of kicks against breast cancer, kicks against cancer game, childhood cancer, breast cancer, whatever the game may be. And I think it's important that it's just more than holding up the sign. It's more than wearing the pink jersey. It's more than getting the donation. It's really trying to educate our players in the community in the sense of this is a reality. It's okay to talk about, and we're here to support one another.